Recording. And can we see the record? Everybody, welcome to our Friday or Thursday evening strategy sessions, no matter where you are in the world. Thanks for joining. So this is the last class of this series. We're going to keep the Friday strategy sessions running. We'll just run them with a different theme from next week. So you're more than welcome to come back and join. And this week, I really wanted to dive into the art of email marketing because I really think that email sometimes gets lost in all of the noise of everything else that is going on in life, you know, all the Twitters and all of these other social media accounts. But I just wanted to jump in first of all. Thank you for coming. And also just to review last week. So what we talked about last week. And don't forget, I've got all of these calls recorded for you, and I'll post the link again so that you can go back and look at them, because I know that we've covered a lot. Last week, there was certainly a real lot, and I didn't even get to go through all of the slide deck, but it's there for you if you want it. This week, it's not as much as in what we're going to chew through, but at the end I've got a nice little surprise for you too. So I'm hoping that you get to stick around to the end of the call, and I'll just run through that with you as well. So I have, first of all, thoroughly enjoyed doing these classes, because what it's meant for me is that I can run out and find the information, come back, and through sitting here and educating you, I get to cement the knowledge into my brain as well and master it. So thank you as well for the opportunity. I've thoroughly enjoyed my time. So last week, what we covered was the value ladder. And we talked about the value ladder. If we look at the second part down the bottom here, so the value ladder, what it is was you kind of develop a ladder of your services and products and how you're going to present that to your dream customers and how you're going to bait them. And how you're going to continue providing service to them as they continue to stay in your community. So it's not just about bringing them in. A lot of us focus on just baiting the customer and bringing them in with like your magnet. And then we don't really have a plan. Well, I never anyway. We don't really have a plan what to do with them after that. You know, we put them into our social media and we warm them up, don't we? But then what do? They're kind of in social media, in your Facebook page, but we don't really take them anywhere. So the value ladder, what we talked about last week, was actually having that visual of a ladder and where we can take them. And remember, there were the two axes. So the longer duration they stay in your community, the more they get to know, like, and trust you. And then as they move up the ladder, the price point becomes more expensive as well on the courses that you offer, or the ebook, or the service, or the one-on-one that you could offer your people. And remember, all of us sitting here are uniquely different to each other. And so we all selling the same product, but we are actually ourselves, and doTERRA is a small part of us. Yeah. And so then it's all the services and your unique kind of character that you can bring to somebody. And then the weeks before that, we looked at the secret formula. So this little line at the top here. So the secret formula was created to help you figure out who you want to serve. So who are the people? Who is your avatar? How to bait them, how to attract them to you, and then how to keep them in your community. So that's kind of what we've covered each week so far, yeah? So today I want to really talk about email marketing. And one really interesting thing that I found out was that email's been around for as nearly as long as I've been around. So I am 1 year older than email. That's good to know. So 1971, the first email was sent. And it's quite crazy. I didn't realize it was such a long time ago. I thought it was like an 80s baby. And so 1971. So then email has really become this framework of our internet, and it just sits there, and often we kind of forget about it. It's a tool that we use, and okay, I'm going to send an email. Who sits down these days and writes an actual letter? I know at Christmas time we may write some Christmas cards, but it's so fundamentally part of our tools that we use every single day that we just kind of forget about internet, that it's really the workhorse of communication. So the good thing to know about email, and this is why email is so important, is because no corporations own email. It's actually free. It's really important to know. So you own the asset that you build. So every email that you send is your company asset, and you decide how to operate it, how you write it, and who you send it to. So that is probably the main message that I want to get across today, is that email is really, you're in total control of it. And that's why we've been talking for quite some time to make sure that you have a hub where you have your CRM, where you manage your customers, your customer database, and you actually bring everybody through baiting them, through hooking them, a magnet, bringing them into your hub, whatever hub that is, whatever platform that you choose, that you are in total control of. And you do that by having an email. So capturing the customer's email. Is that cool? Yeah. So 1971, guys, I didn't realize that. That's crazy. So this is what we want to do. Let's set the scene here. So these days, there's no shortage of ways that you can communicate. So there's Facebook, there's Twitter, there's Telegram, there's Snapchat, there's blah, 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 blah. There's so many different ways that you can really communicate with people and chat with people, but they've always been designed as these email killers all the time. You know, this is the latest thing. This is going to kill the email. This is the latest thing. And email has just preserved, 50 years of emails going around the world. I found out this stat. There's 3.8 billion email users, and every day there's 280 billion emails going around the world every single day. 280 billion. It just floored me. So if you were to add up all of the Facebook and all of the Twitter messages every day, it's 0.2% compared to the emails. Yeah, even though we spend a lot of time on like Facebook and Twitter messages and Telegram, they only add up to 0.2%. Compared to the 280 billion emails going around every day. I feel like they're all in my inbox every morning. I'd hate to see Victoria's. So that is mind-boggling, how many emails. So it just shows that it's the powerhouse, it's the workhorse that I said. So your most effective business tool is email. I'm just checking if anyone's stuck at the door. No. So far, we've talked about the history of email, and now we'll just go into how we can actually use email in a really, really effective way. Because sometimes the way we're using email so far is, not as effective as a tool as it can be for our business. Yeah. So if you've got any questions or anything, just jump in as well. Unmute, jump in. We love it to be interactive. So I'm hoping today that the information that I give you is going to make you see email a little bit differently to you've seen it before. And I certainly see it quite differently now to how I was seeing it before. And a lot of the time when we talk about baiting our customer and magnet, it's all about promotion and coercion. And we don't want that. What we want to really think about is how we earn the customer. And we really have to work to get the customer to us. And I love this line here. We want to reach out to the customer and we want to solve their problems. And this is really deep in our culture in doTERRA. It's what we think about all the time. What can we do to win the customer and how can we best serve the customer? It's nothing new to us, but it's good to always talk about that. So when you're doing the baiting of the customer, I know it's a really hard word, but just think of it as fishing. We have to do it in a way that we're earning the customer. And you do that by warming the customer up, getting them to know you, getting them to like you, then getting them to trust you. And I keep saying that, but that's probably like the most important thing that we need to do all the time. Ta-da! So this is going to rock your world. You may need to come back to this and look at it a few times, but there's two real entry points up here. So if you think about, this is how we get the customer into our email channel. Yeah, so think about this as our email subscription here. Would you like my top 5 smoothie recipes, perhaps? And then these people will go into, so they have this problem, they can't make a smoothie, for example. And so you have baited them, you have attracted them into your funnel or into your community. So maybe they click on subscribe, they give you the email address, and then they come into your world with all these other people. So there's Sue, there's Jeff, there's Jem, there's Jack, all these J's. All these people can't make smoothies. So they're in your smoothie community here. And for some reason, they have a problem that you can solve. So you've hooked them into your community, and this is where you start to feed them in your community. Now, there's another group of people here that we call the bleeding necks, and they're ready to buy straight away. So they have a unique problem and that you can solve that problem. So they're ready to start straight away. So they come into your community, maybe through a different channel. Maybe you have two different funnels. The first group here is maybe coming into your newsletter or maybe an ebook for smoothies. This one here is coming directly and maybe buying a product or something a little bit bigger, maybe a course. Yeah. So I'm not going to go into too much of this detail on this graphic because it's a little bit confusing, but in the recording, go back and have a look at it. But through everything we talk about on the next graphics, it'll start to make sense. But what we're talking about here is how to move people through your value ladder and get them over to this section here, which is becoming super fans. And super fans mean that they stay with you for longer. They love your community. Anything that you put out there, they're going to buy. I think I'm like that with a couple of people. I really love what they put out there. And so I'm like, yeah. But other people, it's like, I don't know, maybe I'm not quite there yet. It's interesting, isn't it? When you feel like they're talking directly to you. I love when that happens. So it's a really good graphic. It just takes a little bit of absorption to let this sink in. So these points here, this is what you need in your business. Okay, you need these points here to actually have a business. So there must be someone with a problem that are actively seeking, our heads are hiding this, actively seeking to solve and willing to pay to have solved. So there needs to be someone or some people that have a problem that you can solve. Yeah, so you need people like this for your business. Then there needs to be a group of people like this. Yeah, so there needs to be a group of people, a minimum audience for you to sustain, to make money from it, basically. Yeah, so one person with a problem that you can fix, then for you to actually have a business that you can make money from, there needs to be more than one person. Yeah, or you need to charge that one person a lot of money. The third point here is you then attract people you can seek and serve to your community through a funnel. So you're not just looking for one of those people that you can solve, you're actually looking for a lot of people like that. Yeah, a lot of people that you can actually attract into your funnel. And remember, it's called a funnel because of the shape. You're attracting a lot of people in at the top, and then you filter them through the process, through warming them up, through tapping them. Remember all the different taps that we can do. And then the last point here is email is the destination for everyone that we seek to serve. You really want their email address. And why? It's because that you can control that. Yeah, you've got their email address. You can control everything that you're sending out to your people. In Facebook, in Twitter, you don't know when you'll get shut down. And there's a few of us in our team who have had that last year. So locked out of your business. You don't want that to happen. It doesn't happen with email. If you've got the customer's email, you can connect directly with that customer. Yeah. So email is where your prospects are turned into happy customers because you can over time tap them, tap them, tap them. Remember, if you only reach out once and tap them once and contact your customer once, remember what the percentage of return is? 2%. 2% chance that you'll have a successful experience for your customer and a successful sale. Only 2%. So if after one tap you go, you know what, I think I'm bugging that customer. I think that, I shouldn't reach out anymore. I'm annoying them. You've lost 98% of your customers if you don't continue to reach out. Yep. So anywhere over 7 taps, 5 to 7 taps, you increase to 80%. So if you were to reach out 5 times to that same person, you've got an 80% chance that they will come into your community and continue to be warmed up and get to know and like and trust you. So no one can get to know and like and trust you if they're a stranger after 1 tap. Yeah. No one's going to marry you on the first date. It's not Disneyland, guys. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. It doesn't happen here. And so let's turn the page. So every email is an asset. It's an opportunity to connect, to demonstrate value, to move the reader or the subscriber in the direction that benefits them and benefits you. So you're massaging them. They come in as a lump of clay, and then you're doing your little Whoopi Goldberg number, and you're molding them and modeling them, and at the end they come into a beautiful whatever bowl or a cup, something like that, an analogy. So the email is your opportunity to connect, to warm up the customer, to demonstrate the value that you can give to them. And you can't do that just with one touch. Okay, you've got to demonstrate. The main word here is demonstrate. So it just takes time. So remember, today we're talking about email. And what I really want to talk about, what I found so fascinating, was this sequence called a soap opera sequence. And when I thought of this, I thought of Seinfeld. You know, if you go back and you think about all those Seinfeld episodes, they're really an episode about nothing. You know, you got to the end and they really talked about nothing. So a soap opera sequence is, you can see here, there's in the green, there's a couple of starting points. So SOS just means soap opera sequence. And think of a soap opera. You know, every soap opera TV show, somebody dies, someone gets married, you know, next series, they come back to life again. It just kind of continues. So this soap opera sequence, have kind of that story in your mind. It's a conversation with people. So there's different names for this. Sometimes we call it a email sequence. Sometimes we call it a drip, where we drip on the customer each day. Ari, I'm just going to mute you there. And so here, anybody can enter this sequence at any point. You know, so this may be, they sign in for like an email newsletter, and this is maybe your newsletter here. So they can drop in at any single point and they know what's going on. So it's a conversation. Now, this usually a soap opera sequence typically goes for about 5 emails, and usually about 1 email a day. And it's like an introduction, so that they're getting to know you and like you and trust you. And on the next slide, I'll go through a bit of a template of day 1 looks like this, day 2 looks like this. And it's a pretty foolproof sequence to do it this way. It really helps with structure. Now, can you see here, E1 is email 1, email 2, email 3. So on day 3, this person may, in this email, it may have a link to something else. We may be talking about sleep on day 3, and then there's a link to some soft gels and some products, or there's an ebook. So all of a sudden, this person shoots off in a different direction into soap opera sequence number 2. Yeah. And so what it's doing is filtering your people, and so that you can tag them and get to know what your people really want. You don't want to send out an email to somebody if it doesn't really suit their avatar, if it's not what they're really looking for. So if somebody is there in your funnel for sleep, and then all of a sudden you're talking to them about digestion, you're going to lose them, yeah? And do the test on yourself. Jump into your own inbox and have a look, and you'll see that all of a sudden there's all these emails coming in that don't really relate to you, and they don't really hit you. They're not your pain point. So you delete them, don't you? But if they're talking directly at you, and this is the beauty of a soap opera sequence. So generally 5 to 7 days, and another word is called a funnel. So a soap opera sequence tells an emotional story, kind of like a Seinfeld show, like a TV soap opera. And the purpose is to lead to a sale, lead to a product, but just massaging slowly. And again, know you, like you, trust you. Just remember, these are new people. So you're reaching out to people who are not in your circle of influence at the moment. So you're trying to attract them in just through, for example, a newsletter subscription. Yeah, just so you're working these people into your community. So here's again another example. So the soap opera sequence is the entry point for every subscriber. So you don't just want people to subscribe to your newsletter. Hey, you want to get my latest news? They click on that, and then they wait. And then they wait until you're ready to do a newsletter. Yeah. And so what you want when they click on the newsletter link, that they will receive an email straight away. And that first email is your soap opera sequence. And what you want to think about is sending them 5 emails over the next 5 days, so that you can introduce yourself. Yeah, and I'm going to show you a really easy way soon that we can do that. So I know I can see all your minds clicking over at the moment. So does anybody have this built in at the moment? Does anybody want to stick up their hand and let me know what you've got? Silence in the court. Anyone? Shall we just keep moving on? I'm going to go through all the slides to see all the faces. Does anybody have a newsletter link on their website at the moment or on their landing page? Anyone? No? Okay, good. Well, I chose the right information to talk about today. I can see you're absorbing it. So there's a lot of power in this one here. So remember, the newsletter could be the bait to get people in. And then once they put their email address in, you want to send them the first email of this soap opera sequence. So a 5-day sequence. I think we've talked about this page enough. I'm going to show you what that looks like. So here we go. High drama. So the funnel can look like this. Day 1 sets the stage. Day 2, high drama and a bit of backstory and a bit of what I needed to do to get over this situation, the wall. Okay, that's day 2. Day 3 is the epiphany, that one thing that helped me. Day 4 are the benefits, the hidden benefits. And day 5 is creating some urgency, some call to action. So then this is again what it looks like. So that's the 5 days there. I've just taken away the actual diagram in case you just want the lines here. Victoria.
I'm trying so hard not to talk, but I got questions. So in the hieroglyphics that you had,
etchings on the wall. Shall I go back?
Yeah, please.
This one?
No, hieroglyphics.
Other way?
No. Forward.
That one?
No.
Other way? That one? That one?
That, stop. So they're clicking on a newsletter button on our website or our landing page that's going to go into a prospect newsletter or
ebook,
kind of just a monthly informational. Let's just say we'll figure that out.
Yep.
And then because it might be 3 weeks before your monthly newsletter, depending on when they click,
yep.
We're putting them into this soap opera funnel, which is awesome. Is this a kind of your story so they get to know, like, and trust you? And would you embed videos into your email so that they can see you?
Love it.
Are you going to address that in a minute?
Absolutely. So it's exactly that. So somewhere on your website, they've found your website. You need to even think before that, how they're even going to find your website, and we'll talk about that next. But let's just presume they're on your website. And then there's a link that says, click on this to get my latest news. Or it could be, click on this to get my ebook on rehabilitation, anything. How to survive quarantine. So it's a gift.
Okay, that's just your opt-in.
Yeah, exactly. Just your opt-in, your give to get. And then you've got the email address. Now, you don't want to leave them there with no response. You want them to receive something straight away because they've given you something. They've given you their email address. You have to give them something back in return.
But if it's your opt-in, you should have that funnel. But this is specifically for like a newsletter.
This can be for anything.
Subscribing to the newsletter should put them in a funnel. That's new to me. That's awesome.
Absolutely. So you don't want them just to sit there without having some kind of communication because they have given you something. They've given you their email address. You now need to give them something back, give to get. So it could be both. It could be a newsletter funnel. A funnel is a funnel. It could be a newsletter funnel. It could be anything that you want to.
A webinar funnel, an ebook funnel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, if you're thinking who these people are, they're strangers. You want to get to know them. So you've invited them into your living room. You're not going to leave them there. You now have to show them the rest of the house. And so the first little section here is that you will send them an email. You want them through these 5 days here to get to know you and to get to know the services and what you can do for them. because they've got a pain point, and now you're matching yourself, your services, your products to their pain point through these 5 days. So you need to craft yourself into these 5 emails here. Yeah. And so the main point I want to make is when they click on that link to get your opt-in, maybe it's a newsletter, maybe it's an ebook, you have to give them something back straight away. Something has to hit their inbox straight away. And the second part of your question, should there be videos? Yeah, absolutely. You know, video is, if we were just doing this through text now, you wouldn't pick up on my hand gestures. You know, Zosha knows me well. I love to talk with my hands. You've got to be about 6 feet away from me because my arms wave a lot. So you miss the tone, you miss the nuance, you miss the facial expression. If someone can sit there on your first email that they receive. So here I am, I'm going into Zosha's website. I type in my, like, oh yeah, I think she's got what I need. I'm going to put my email address in. 1 minute later, I get a video from Zosh in my inbox, and I hear her voice. I hear her energy and her passion. Of course, I'm going to sign up. You know, it's going to warm me up even more. I will get to know Zosha so much faster through video and what she's about than what I could ever learn through a 5-day series of touches. And remember, these are just touches. You're warming them up to get them. The intention is to get them to like you. Yeah.
I think your next session of strategy should be how to do great videos, lighting, energy.
Nice.
You know, all of that. I mean, just throwing that out there for you, buddy.
Thank you. I think I have to practice myself a little bit more too.
Well, I've just seen, not on our team, of course, but I've seen a lot of videos where it's very dark. Like they're just like not in a good lighting, or, you know, their like clothes are very distracting. Yes. Or the camera's up their nose or down their front, or
too many buttons undone.
Yeah. I mean, we don't want to have to hire a camera crew to come in, but you know, there are tips and tricks of angles and lighting and what's in the background. Make sure you don't have,
dogs.
Just a suggestion. I know you probably already have something up your sleeve, but go ahead.
You know, I can work that in. I can work it in. I think it's a good point. You know, even things, you know, at the moment we're doing things like jumping into team calls as well. And I think that's a really good, safe environment for us to practice.
Y'all are jumping in team calls for a reason, to learn how to do it, right?
Really, it's absolutely safe.
And there's also, you know, I mean, you could really break that up, because it's also the way you speak, the speed you speak. If you're too slow, if you don't have enough intonation, if you have too much intonation. Anyway, we're off track. Sorry, my head. Go.
I think if you see it as all fun and experiment, and it all comes down to confidence, and it all comes down to, do I want to make money? Is this a hobby? Is this a business? And when you flick into, this is a business, and there's certain things that we have to do at the moment. We have to actually really seriously look at taking our businesses online, because a lot of us don't have that possibility at the moment where we can sit face to face and share our oils. So we are here showing up because we know that there is a high chance that this is going to continue for quite some time. So do we sit where we are, or do we take control of the situation? And do we look seriously at taking our business online and learning some skills like this, some tools that we can really impact our business in a powerful, powerful way? And I really believe this. And I've put a lot of these into practice over the last few months, and I've seen significant changes in my audience. And even the conversations that I'm having with people has been a massive, massive shift. And even my confidence too, as the numbers in your community rise and stay, and they ask questions, oh my goodness, your own personal confidence goes up as well. Yeah. So the soap opera sequence is just a drip of emails, 5 emails over 5 days for you to introduce yourself, your product, and the solution to the pain point. That's not new. You know, we know that already. Video, great idea. If you are in the Enroll Pro, you can actually set this up in Enroll Pro, write your emails, And then every time someone comes into your email opt-in, you just send them an email. You put their email address, you tag them in Enroll Pro, and then you've got them in there. Yeah, so simple. And you can embed photos, you can embed videos. I have something called Pete's Picks, and that's my weekly newsletter. And I just go through 5 things that I'm using to up-level my health during the week. And so this week, I sent out a couple of hundred to everybody on my list. And there were things like my Maison market tomorrow. It's our New Year market. So I talked about that. I talked about my favorite bread at the moment that I'm eating. I talked about a book I'm reading, just these things. So things that I'm actually doing. And then I put a really good link to the 21-day challenge. So I always have something about the oils in there, but not everything is about the oils. There's a lot about me and what I'm doing. So that's Pete's Picks. That's my weekly newsletter. But when people join the Pete's Picks subscription, they get a 5-day email funnel like this to get them to know me. And so there may be an overlap of the 5 drip feeds and then the Pete's Pick newsletter comes out, but that's okay. I'm happy with that. So ultimately, this is what we really want. This is how we're doing for time. We're doing okay. So ultimately, the soap opera sequence will help you earn the trust of your subscribers. That's the most powerful word, is earn. You have to work for these people. You have to show them that the pain point that they've got, you can help them. You've got a solution. So this is something that you can't do through a single email or a single blog article or a single Facebook Live. So it's not enough to warm people up just through one touch. Remember, we lose 98% of our people through just one, if we only do one touch. Zosh?
I was just wondering, if you have your social media, like let's say you have Instagram and you've done a video on Instagram, and then you want to have some sort of call to action in that Instagram. So that call to action, would that be your website? But it might want to be something a bit more specific, because if people go to my website, then it might be too much to navigate.
Yeah.
So is there a way that you can link, like let's say I did a video on
Linktree. It's called Linktree. I know the answer.
Lady in the blue.
Lady in blue, please.
The winner.
There's something called Linktree, because you can't link to a site in Instagram, but you can link to this thing called Linktree. So if you go to my Instagram, it'll say check out my latest blog here, and there's a Linktree link. And when you click on that, it gives you like 4 or 5 different things they can choose from on my site to go see.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Love it.
And it's free.
Okay, fantastic.
It's free.
Brilliant. Okay, great. Because I was thinking, it's great to capture people. I know what I'm like with email. Exactly what you said before. Like if it's somebody that I absolutely love, I'll read everything. Yeah. And then I wrote an email to some guy. I think he runs Paleo Hacks, and I was so annoyed because he so got me in. And then his video, there was just nothing there, and I had to give him feedback. I just said, all that, I've wasted 10 minutes of my life, and you've given me nothing.
You are tough.
Well, I just thought, as a bit of feedback, I just thought it's upsetting, because what you what you were promised was amazing, but you didn't deliver. Yeah. And so, I think with Instagram and Facebook, it gets people in quickly, but then you want to move them to that website and be quite specific.
Absolutely. And it's got to be so authentic, doesn't it? You have to have that confidence in yourself about putting yourself out there to begin with. You have to have confidence in your ability to offer a solution to solve it for that person. And you have to be authentic enough to really believe in your people and your community and love on them. And I chose the word nourish for a massive reason, because I want to nourish my relationships with my community, and create and nourish the space, the conversation. It's a huge word for me. I chose that intentionally in the beginning. It's what I want. And I believe that word can really grow with my community. And so you can't do that just with one touch, with one blog post, with one Facebook Live. You've got to do it by warming people up through those first 5 emails. Then they're in your community, and then they're getting to know you and like you and trust you even more. And again, guys, you have to do at least one Facebook Live every single week. It's free. It's free. I've given myself a challenge and I'm going to stick to it. In February, I'm going to do every single day, like 5 days a week. I'll have Saturday, Sunday off, but I'll do 5 days a week. That's my personal challenge, just to break myself out of. I found myself this week, and I was chatting to the girls last night. I turned on my Facebook Live twice this week, and I went, I've got nothing to say. I don't know what they want to hear. And I stopped it. And I walked down the road and I went, you know what? That was really crazy. I should have just talked and did my soap opera sequence in Facebook. So you can do the same type of thing. You can just ramble and talk, because that's what people want. They want to get to know you without you selling something. Yeah, they just want to get to know what you're about. So it's okay to talk about your shoes that are dirty as you walk down the street. It's okay to talk about, you nearly got run over on the road, just things, life. And Zosh, you're living in Hong Kong. I want to see what your life is like on the street. I forget that not everybody in my community lives in Vietnam and is experiencing Vietnam. Manisha, you're in California. I'd love to see what life is like for you in California, because you're living it. I know we're inside a lot at the moment, but that's still interesting as well. So showing people snippets of your life. And I've always been a little bit guarded that way, because my life is pretty open with my cafe. I've always tried to hold a little bit back, but I've learned that you can't do that. You've got to actually allow people to come in and get to know you and like you. So there's some more points there. Ultimately, what we want to accomplish through having email, we want to build a foundation of trust and empathy that allows you to start to make recommendations about your products and services. Yeah, it's really a big line, that one. So building the foundation. You don't have it all of a sudden after 5 emails. You're building that foundation. And from there, you can really start to present your products and your solutions through a newsletter. You can address people's problems. You can offer them solutions that they can relate to. And the last one here is that you can really build a base of lifelong customers and true fans. Dun, dun, dun. The end. But it's not really the end. It's really the beginning. So that's the end of the slides. I'm going to close them down. Is there any questions about any particular slide there that you want me to show again before I close it? Or we can have a coffee break and a deep breath. How are we doing, everyone? It's nice to see you're all still with me. So email is a really big thing. It's one of those things that we just really forget about. And there's a reason why Victoria sends out her monthly newsletter to all the different markets. There's a reason for that. And even if it just falls into your inbox and it has a really catchy subject line, that's enough to hook you and bait you. And every day I have Bulletproof come in. Every day I have David Asprey come in, all of these ones. And I'm like, okay, it just reminds me that they're there, and it brings it back to the top of your mind.
Keeping their name present and at the foremost of your mind, right? Even whether or not you open it.
Yeah, exactly. It's there. It's just reminding you.
Sends out weekly emails to her prospects, and she's feeling discouraged, maybe because she only has a 20% open rate or whatever. 6 months later, somebody could say, you know what, I think I need to try those oils. Who was that lady? Oh, she's in it's Ria, because it's kept her right there.
Absolutely. And you don't want that lady to be ready after 6 months and then go to someone else.
Exactly.
So you want to remain top of mind all the time for these people here. So that was the end of those slides there. And during this process, I learned so much information. I've been kind of doing this for, I've been building websites for 16 years for all of my different businesses. And I started in 2003. I built my first website for my first hotel, Supper Rooms Boutique Hotel. And I was young and naive, and a little bit younger than what I am now. And I thought, I want to control every aspect of my business. So here I was, the only white guy on a hill in the middle of nowhere in Vietnam, in the Vietnamese Alps, surrounded by ethnic minority people, building one of the 10 hotels there, and sitting at nighttime with a little gas lamp, because there's no electricity, and studying about WordPress and studying how to build websites. And I did it and did it and did it because I really wanted to have control over my brand and the message that I was putting out there. And since that
And
time,
owning it. I mean, you brought up that great point because especially with our current political situations,
Yeah.
you know, and I can remember when doTERRA in China decided to move everything over to WeChat. You
Yeah.
order, you do everything on WeChat. And I can remember having a conversation with Michael Sterling saying, I think that that's very dangerous. They quit asking for people's emails. Oh, we'll just get them on WeChat. And I was like, what if the government decides to shut it down?
Yeah.
You don't have all these people's emails. You have no way to connect with them. And it's the same with what we're kind of going through now. And you mentioned this, we've had, you know, Diamonds and Above and doTERRA get terminated off of Facebook, and their whole businesses were there. But guess what? They cannot take from us. They cannot take really our website. I mean, that would be extreme. And they can't take our email list. So that, like, you have no idea. And especially right now, I mean, I'm hoping everything washes through soon and it's all sort of back to normal. But, you know, in this particular climate, I'm like, if they were to shut down Telegram, which by the way, there's chatter about Apple taking the app off. So make sure you save your Telegram and do the thing in your phone where they can't delete any of your apps if you've seen that go by. You know, and so I sit here and I think, oh my gosh, I just moved everybody because WeChat was having the problems. Now, you know, and then I moved my business over to Parler. I started building, and then they shut that down. So it's starting to get to like, I need to spend more time on my website and my email list because I have no control. I'm really hoping everybody's just having a little fight above me and it'll pan out. But just in case, really important to have ownership, like you were saying, being in control and not at the whim of, you know, some political uproar that takes you out.
And you do all this hard work on acquiring your customers and you're putting them into a bank, but you don't control that bank. And so we're talking about having a hub. And so if it's like the center here, and then everything comes out like spokes on the wheel, everything comes out from that. So this is your hub, whatever that platform you decide, you know, that is where you keep your customers, keep them safe in a vault, you know, and then we come out from there. And I'm so grateful that we have you, Victoria, that you have this foresight, and you are talking 12 months ago, exactly, that presidential ball. 12 months ago, you're telling us to, you know, move away from WeChat. We have to have that guidance.
And move away from Facebook.
Sorry.
Yeah, like it's good to have Facebook, and while it's up and running, and if you're not in Facebook jail, God bless, keep going. I'm not going to shut it down. I'm not shutting it down. But if somebody in my group says the wrong thing, it could get, you know, so I can't. You've got to have multiple things, but I really believe that the landing page, at least, or website, and ownership of your email list is critical. Critical.
Yeah. So I was going through this process and I'm thinking, you know, there's so many spokes in the wheel. There's so many things that we need to do as business owners. You know, we're all doing this. Most of us are not doing it full time to begin with. Most of us are starting this as a side hustle. And so finding the time to bring your business online is time consuming. And it also takes a little bit of tech savvy stuff. So because I've got a little bit of experience there and I enjoy it, I found that I have a little window of time around Lunar New Year during February. So I'm going to...
Can I jump in a second, Pete? I'm sorry to cut you off.
Jump in.
Wait, I'm debating, am I going to steal your thunder?
You can...
Well, I know what I'll say. So I want to say that what Pete's about to say is because we had a conversation and I feel very, you all know my number one strength is responsibility. It is haunting, like not a great number one strength, let me tell you. So, you know, we get off the calls and I'm just like, you know, how, like, I feel very responsible for everybody on my team, everybody. And I'm like, it's like, this is complicated, right? It's like, how do you get it started? How do you just, and I was telling Pete, I just feel like if we could just get people set up, just like get that, just get people where they can pass out their website and say, go get my book. And I said, I feel like people get paralyzed in this first step. I'm like, if we could get people just to a landing page that had an ebook, that had a funnel, and not worry about the website, not worry about the logo, not worry about the, you know, exact perfect font, right? Because everybody gets paralyzed at this, where you could just be like, okay, I've got something that's working for me. And then over time, you can go in and learn and tweak and change and add as you will. So I was kind of bemoaning this like little, well, I say little mountain to get over, but for some people, it's a big mountain to get over.
Oh, sure. It's scary for some people.
He kind of said something, and then I kind of said, really? Because, you know, I'm going to take this idea and I'm going to run with it. So we had this idea to help people get over the mountain, and I'll let you share that idea. But I just want you all to know I'm like totally pro this, but I'm watching it. It is a short window of time, because you cannot get distracted from building your own business. But go ahead.
And I think everybody knows that I love to give, and I love to assist and help. And I think that's definitely in my strengths as well. So I ran this idea past Victoria because I have this window of time during Lunar New Year, which is February, that I can assist people to get online. Now, what that means is that I'm offering my services, my knowledge, my skill, my energy to build a landing page for you. It will also include to build your first funnel, and it will also include to build your newsletter link as well. Yes, Madam in Blue.
I also just want to say that this is much less than Jasmine does. Yeah. So it will be much less.
It's like a starter, isn't it? Entry point.
Jasmine is super supportive, and she's like, oh my gosh, that's beautiful. Get people, just because she offers a website. And what Pete's offering is just a landing page.
Yeah.
So it's just to get you a place where you can have that first funnel, and then you can stay there forever. But Jasmine is going to support this. Like, you can be on her calls. She'll answer questions, be in her group. She's going to be helping Pete. Yeah. You know, so I just want you to know, this is super, like, we're not dissing on Jasmine. We're not dissing on anything. It's like totally, and it's a short time. So anyway, I just wanted them not to think you were trying to take away from Jasmine. Jasmine's fully on board.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I just want to share something with you, so then it'll sort of sink in a little bit more of what's included and what the offer is. And so I just really want people to think seriously about moving their business online, but in a way that is, you know, without all that techie kind of feel and getting lost in all of the overwhelm of clicking here and doing that and doing this. So I'm going to put together, this is me hard at work, look at that. So I'm going to put together a very sleek, simple, one-page landing page for people. And it'll be one template that I will customize around what colors you love, around your photos, around your content, and around your fonts. And there'll be certain things that you'll be required to do, like write your content and send me the photos. And I'll just get to the next page. I'll find, there we are. So this is, I have a actual website that you can go to as well. So it's landing page and funnel design for our team. Now, I'm really focused on GrooveFunnels and getting people into GrooveFunnels because they have two options in there. They have a free option that you can start on. And they also have this fantastic option, which is a lifetime package as well, which is still available at the moment. Now, what I would do is I would go into your account and I would do all the tinkering in the background and set it all up for you. So this is, I'll just move to the next page. This is me. Are you ready to start? And here we go through some information here. This will be in the slide deck that I send out. So I don't want people to get overwhelmed and stuck, even though they want to take their business online, but they don't have the time to build their landing page. Now, like Victoria said, I'm not going to build the whole website, but I'm happy to build the landing page and that first funnel for you. And that first funnel will also have those 5 emails, that soap opera sequence that we talked about. Now, you will also need to help write those emails, because that email is about you. It can't just be generic, because we want to warm those customers up to you. So how Manisha, you talk to your customers will be different to how Zosh and Ari talk to their customers. So this is a nice little phrase that I put in here. So you deserve a landing page that looks beautiful, represents your style, and helps you to grow your business. A landing page that shows your unique value to bring to the world. So
I want to add to that though, Pete. You will give them an example funnel of 5 emails where you can literally take the 5 emails that are SOS and just edit them.
That's right.
You don't have to write them from scratch. Right? So here's a SOS email series of 5 emails, and you will just have to edit it, because the hardest part is to start.
Absolutely.
You're just editing a book.
Yeah, exactly. And to
becoming
begin
the character.
We're going to have a few different funnels that you can choose from. There's about 4 funnels in the beginning you can choose from, and that library is going to grow to 12. So when you first start, there's a package for your landing page and your first funnel. And then you may say in 2 months' time, you may want another funnel. So we will have a library of funnels that you can purchase the funnel. And it's extremely reasonably priced. I didn't want to have it at a high-end price. It's very, very low, because I understand the people that will probably take up this offer are people who are starting out, or they're probably not people who are at a higher rank in doTERRA, because I really am about finding a simple solution to bringing your business online. So this is how we work together. So the first step is to get in touch with me, and I'll show you in a moment. The second step is doing the prep work, which is your time to write the content and choose your photos. And then we talk about the different colors together, and it's a fun collaborative session together. Step 3 is, so in between step 2 and step 3, I do all the tinkering in the background, and I do it really quick. And I hope to get it done in around 2-3 days to have your landing page up. And then step 3 is you launch your site to the world, and I give you a couple of graphics for yourself that you can put onto social media so that you can start to attract people to your landing page. And I want you to think of your landing page as like your business card or your e-card, your energy card. So it's a place that you can send people that is not social media, that is actually the beginning of your hub. Yeah, this is the beginning stage that will grow over time. And after you're done with me, maybe you will get to tinker a little bit on your own website. Maybe you'll have a bit more confidence, or maybe you'll move into Jasmine and she will then build out a bigger website for you. But this is the starting point for a lot of people, which people feel is a challenge. And stage 4 or step 4 is writing then your newsletter and continuing to work on your value add to your community. Yeah. And then I want to talk about the price, because I've tried to keep it as low as possible. So there's 2 prices here, and then I have an offer on the next page for you, because every chat has to have an offer. So this is choosing your plan. So there's 2. $140 is all it's going to cost to build the landing page for you, to have your first funnel in there. $140. If you want extra funnels, they're just $35. Now, what a funnel includes is that there's an ebook, and they're beautiful ebooks. So Victoria and I have done a lot of work on pulling this library together of ebooks. They're beautiful.
You all have no idea. Pete and I are like in the background.
We've had a lot of fun pulling this library together. Now, each ebook will be attached to 5 or 7 SOS, so the soap opera sequence drip email. Yeah. What I will do is I'll drop that funnel. So Manisha, you may say, hey, I want a funnel on digestion. So we've got it. So it'll be an ebook, and then there'll be 5 or 7 email drips about digestion. And then you'll drop that into your funnel. Now, into your landing page. The great thing is that we could follow doTERRA's plan for the year, where each month there's like a different theme. So around the holidays, around, whatever, digestion, or around starting the year healthy. We've got a funnel for everything. So you could swap out the funnels from time to time. So I could see a lot of people starting on the landing page and then later on coming back and adding in another funnel. So they're the 2 prices there. So $140, I could get you started with your landing page. We'll turn it around in a few days, 2-3 days for you, depending on how fast you get the content to me. So all the content about you. And a lot of people already have this written. They just haven't worked out how to put it into the technology just yet. So one more slide, guys. Now, what I wanted to offer as like a limited thing, because I have a limited amount of time, because I am also building my doTERRA business and my other businesses, but I really enjoy doing all the tech stuff. I really enjoy building my own website. So I gave myself a challenge in January to build a whole new website, and I've done that, nourishedbypete.com. And I thought, I actually enjoyed the process, but I can see how tricky it is for people to get over that first hump, that first mountain. So this is how I've packaged this first promotion as well. So you could do $140 if you want to. That gives you the landing page and the one funnel. But I wanted to take it a little bit further, which would give you a bit more life out of your landing page too. So I've made this package. So it's one landing page. It includes 2 funnels. So you may have a funnel for your customers, and you may have a funnel for business, or you may have a funnel for a newsletter subscription, and then digestion, and then something else. So you could have, remember, each funnel links to somebody's pain point. So one funnel about digestion will not attract everybody to you. It's attracting that narrow margin. So you may want to have a couple of funnels on your website. I have about 6 at the moment that attract different people in. Very easy to manage because it's all automated. You're just attracting people in, and they're bringing it into your community.
And that's a really good point, because I have 2 that stay on all the time. So I have my Intro to Oils webinar is always there, right? And then that puts them into a funnel. And then I have my business ebook that's always there on my business page. That's just always there. And then I've got my cooking, and then I put up the Christmas, and I'm about to put up the Valentine's Day. So then I've got these ones that I pull out and put in.
Yeah.
Right. So you want a pain point one of sleep, but then you want to have a fun one of Valentine's Day, right? Or whatever. So Pete, I don't know, how many funnels can they have on the free version of Groove Funnels? Do you know?
It's a good question. I think it's 3.
I think it's 3 as well, that you can have going at one time. So,
and that's why I designed it like this, to have 2 funnels of choice plus a newsletter subscription. So then there's your 3 funnels coming in. And so I worked out the value to do all of that is normally $255. I want to turn it around quickly for you. But because in Lunar New Year, my cafe is going to be closed, I've got a little bit of extra time, and I hate sitting here doing nothing. And so that's what I'd like to offer. I could get people up online during February, which is a perfect time, because we know that February, March, our businesses really start to ramp up. And I think we're going to have to spend a lot more focus being online this year. It doesn't look very likely that things will return to normal too quickly. And so once you do have this online presence and your hub, you can just organically start to grow that. All I want to do is just to get you started. And this is where you go. So you can go into.
I'm seeing a couple of questions, Pete.
Oh, yeah, sure. Thank you.
If you've already got your website up and running,
Yeah.
then if you have OneDrop, you can buy ebooks. Like, so what Pete and I've done is I've purchased a lot of ebooks. And then we are tagged to, we've divided up who's writing the funnels, right? So it's the writing the funnels that's the time consuming. But if you've already got, this is to help people who are technology challenged. So if you've already got your funnel, I mean, your landing page and stuff, and you know how to do it, you probably don't need us. I mean, we're writing away in the background. We haven't talked about whether we're going to sell the funnels separately for people. I mean, you can literally, we can have a conversation about that. Funnels, somebody asked how long to leave them up. Once you have the funnel, you own the funnel. So you should be changing out your funnels, you know, I would say like monthly or at least every other month so that you're attracting new people, right? You want to put out on Instagram, you know, hey, I've got a new series on sleep, or I've got a new series on whatever, you know, I just wrote a blog on toxin-free living. Go check it out and get my ebook that goes with it. Right. And then that drives people to your blog. If you, that would be not on the landing page. So that would be another step later down the road. But
it's very much like a shop window. So
this is really for the people who are tech challenged, who can't build it and get it started and get the book in there and put the emails in and get them tagged. It's for those people.
Yeah, exactly.
If you've already got your site, then well,
that's me. And I honestly, I could do one of my star jumps right now because I feel like I manifested this.
Dead in the head.
Oh my, seriously. Oh my God, I'm just so excited. And I'm like, oh my God, someone was actually listening to me.
I know that this is a tricky point for some people. And within our team, we have a lot of skills, a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge. So we combine together and we use other people's skills to support each other. And if you were to go somewhere and have your website built, you know, it's an expensive process and they don't always get our business, our doTERRA business. You know, I'm one of you. I get it. I know what it's like. I'm in the trenches. I'm doing it. And so I know what attracts people to a landing page. So I just want to make it easy. I want you to use my skills and I want to keep this as low in price as possible just to get you started. And then it's an asset. It is your asset to grow and to build from there, and you own it. Like Victoria said, you own the funnel from there. It's a shop window. You do need to change the funnels regularly to actually attract more people in. There may be some that you keep there all the time. Your intro to
that's really where Jasmine can help too. You can be going on the free training calls with Jasmine and be like, okay, I want to change my book out. How do I do that? And then she can walk you through that. The other thing is that there's a lot of people who can just stay at this point for quite a while.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
This is plenty, because the thing is if you're putting messages out on Instagram and you're not capturing their details, it's just going out into the ether. So I was just like, they just need to have a spot.
Yeah.
So, and again, this is a short period of time because I don't want Pete to get distracted from building his own business. He's going into Diamond Club in March and he will be gone. So Tracy, you've already like manifested it. So you've got your name down, and Andrea's 2 daughters want it. Yeah. So I don't know how many you can actually do.
You know, I can dive in there and I'll be doing it. So I've got a system set up which will, you know, I'm an activator, so I'll work it quite quickly. But I think what I really want you to do too, we've shown up on this call, but I know that you've got builders in your team. Maybe they're baby builders, or maybe they're not. They're people who have been around for a while that don't have this landing page presence, who just really want to get started. They're the people that I want to help to get started. I've made it really simple process. So once they connect with me, they can send me a message anywhere, just connect with me. I'll have a conversation with them. And what I do is I send them just a one-page Canva template, what your landing page will look like. And I'll say, I need a photo horizontal for here. I need a photo here. It's a very simple template for them to follow. And right here about you, this is what you're offering, your unique gift. Very, very simple. And I want to remove all of that overwhelm. So people can go here, nourishedbypete.com, and done for you design. They can also click on this once I embed it into the link. So I'll just stop the share now.
And I say, you know, what can you build on the free version?
Yeah.
Right? Because y'all know me, I don't want anybody going into debt. And so it's like, if you need the free version to start with, he is only going to give you what you can do on the free version. We are not trying to upsell or do anything like that. We're just trying to get you where you have a place to go. So, and then it'll be up to you. The more engaged and ever changing your landing page is, going in and updating it with a new opt-in. It can be an ebook 1 month, and it can be one of your recorded classes the next month, or you can have both, right? You know, the more vibrant and current you keep it, then people will go to your website and be like, oh, Tracy just updated this morning. This is fresh content. But if you go to, you know, Pete's website and it's like 2017 is his last blog, you're like, I wonder if he's still alive. I don't really want to hook my wagon to his horse. I think it might be dead. So, you know, so, you know, you are going to need to, and this is why we're so excited that Jasmine's in on this, because she does the free training. So we're not trying to make money on you. Pete needs to cover his costs of his time, right? And all that. Great. But you could be on the free version. You can get free training from Jasmine. We as a community are supportive and we help as much as we can. But this is about you just having that place that when you meet somebody or when you're sending out your social media, hey, go to my site and you can see a class. Go to my site and you can get my book on essential oils. Go to my, you know, and you actually have a place to send them where you will capture their information. And there's where the value is that now you're creating an email list that you own. And then you can do whatever you want with that list, right? You can send them a newsletter once a month, or you can just ping them and say, hey, you know, that's where you are going to have to step in. If you just do it and leave it stagnant, it's not that, you know, you are going to need to get in the habit of, you know, every month when the new products come out, and the new product of the month and the new this, and that you have to update and stuff. So
Ari has a question there. Ari, I think that training is already covered in, I'm not going to go into training of people. I just want to provide the service. So people can actually go into the Facebook group, GrooveFunnels Facebook group, and they cover all of that anyway. They've got great videos on all of these tutorials. So I just want to be fast and snappy and get people online as quick as possible for them, because I think a lot of people have been waiting to get online.
Pete's not going to become please, I want to be clear. This is a short window of time. He's going into Diamond Club. He is not going to become your GrooveFunnels trainer. Okay. That is Jasmine, or that is going on to the videos. You are not going to be pinging Pete constantly with, oh, I want to make this pink instead of green. Or that is not Pete's thing. Pete is a gold leader in doTERRA going into Diamond Club. I will cut you off fast. Because Pete was spinning, and I'm like, bring it in. You got this much time. You're going to help people get started. And then you have to be grown-ups and go to Jasmine's training or write your own questions in Jasmine's Facebook, not in Pete's.
People, you've been told.
Yeah, sorry.
I do have a follow-up question.
She's like scared now. I'm scared to ask it though.
Hey, Pete. Yeah, so, oh my gosh, I think that I manifested this as well. So Victoria, thank you so much to be like, get on this right now. So absolutely amazing, super excited. I think the only question that I have is when you build the funnel, so I completely get about updating your monthly newsletter. But if we were to have another funnel and say maybe it's on like digestion or sleep or stress, is that something we would continue to update every month? And then are there those resources and ebooks available? I think my only concern is like coming up with sleep content for like 12 years. So help me reel it in. And what am I putting there?
No, you don't update the funnel unless a new product comes out that you want to add to the funnel. I had to go update my funnels and change the rank from Blue Diamond to Presidential. So I had to go do that. That was a problem. But yeah, pretty much your digestion funnel is going to be pretty.
That's a pain point. Yeah.
And it's going to be 5 to 7 emails over 10 to 12 days that they get it. And then if they don't book a call or sign up with you, you're going to have those stats in the back, right? And you're going to be like, okay, they got the funnel. You can see if they opened it. You can be like, oh, this person got the book. They didn't even open one email. So then you can send them a note like going, hey, notice that you didn't get the emails. Wonder if they went into spam. Love to talk to you. Like you see all this stuff, but this is like a thing, right? This is like, you got to follow up with this stuff. Yeah. And then if they don't sign up, then you kind of put them into another thing where the next month, when you come out with your sleep funnel, you're going to send an email to all the people saying, hey, I just put a new sleep book on my page. Here's the link, go get it. And then they're going to click on it again and drop into the next funnel that's on sleep, right? So you're not changing the content of the ones that you have, but this is another reason why you want to keep refreshing so that you keep having a reason to communicate with them.
I see what you're saying. So that funnel or that content would end after 5 or 7 sessions on digestion. It's not like you would send them consistent emails over years on digestion.
No, exactly. Then Ari, after the 5 days, then maybe they fall into your weekly newsletter, your monthly newsletter. You direct them into your social media site. So many different ways. They're now in your community. You want to keep them warm in some way.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
And what we're hoping is, at some point, I do not know, the conversation hasn't even, the introduction's been made, but the conversation hasn't happened. But if Enroll Pro and Groove Funnels can get to a point where, because if you meet somebody and they don't really necessarily want to give you their email and information right when they first meet you, so you can't really put them into Enroll Pro, but you can give them your card and say, go to my website. Then if they do, they see your website, then they opt in, they want the book, they give you their email at that point, they drop into that funnel, awesome. But what Jasmine and I were talking about is even if we do a Zapier thing where that will drop over automatically into the Enroll Pro CRM as well, because then you can be sending emails through Enroll Pro as well that are kind of pre-done ones and easy. So I'm really going to push this relationship because in my mind, it's really like going to be fabulous. I just got to get everybody else to see what's up there. He's like, terrifying. But that's the kind of thing is you have this one funnel that's 5 to 7 emails, but then you've got them. And even if for a while we have to manually put them into Enroll Pro, but then we can kind of keep fresh content going that Laura Jacobs puts together for us and kind of keep that relationship going over there. But you've captured them on the landing page.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow, everybody. I know we've taken a little bit longer than what we normally take. And I thank you. I thank you for your time. I'm excited to help some people, help them get online and reach out to, if you've got some builders who are stuck, overwhelmed by the technology, and I know there's a lot. It takes a lot to sit down in front of a system if you're not used to that. And if you start, stop, you lose the language. Once you keep going and you're in the groove, then it's actually quite easy to keep going. And that's why in February, I just want to churn through a lot because I can focus on them in February and I can just churn through those and get everybody by February started. and then you're ready for March once our businesses start to grow. Traditionally, that's the time, yeah? There's a BOGO around then. Traditionally, there is growth during March. So I've enjoyed the last 4 weeks of this series. It wasn't actually designed to go this way. It was designed just to be about information. But you know what? It's nice to have an offer for people and hopefully to help people as well.
And this has been a busy week because I had a bunch of funnels kind of half done and I showed Pete, I'm like, look what I'm doing. And he's like, oh, partner up. So now it's going to go faster with funnels. And then with him getting people set up to have funnels, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, it's fun.
Quickly ask a maybe a dumb question, I'm not sure. But you know, in your funnels, are you personally putting in all of that content?
And so I'm writing the structure of the funnel. So those 5 days or 7 days. So I'm writing the structure, and then I will work with you. I'll send them to you or the person, and there'll be bits you need to read through. And remember, it's your business. And so you can rewrite it however you want. But there's a basic template, a basic structure there that you can follow.
It's a basic, and it's a like, so if you were to pick the Valentine's Day funnel, right? I wrote it. So it's talking about my dating David and his mother's love language versus mine and him being confused. You know, I talk about the Greek love, different love words, the 5 love languages, but I have my personal stories weaved in to those topics. So you would get the funnel and say, oh, I love all this Greek love stuff, but I got to change that bit because that, you know, I don't have a child with a blood disease, right? So I'm going to change it to be, so you'll get the funnel as we write it. That's going to be a super good base. And then you just have to edit the stories, and you can totally change it if you want. You could add more emails if you want. You can do whatever you want with it. So we're just writing. And so he's writing the funnel on the gut health and on the oils with men. So we've divided out who's writing what. And so you're going to get kind of these, you know, if I'll take Pete's funnel, I'm going to have to rewrite it. He takes my funnel. He's got to customize it, personalize it.
And what does Jasmine do? What does she provide?
So Jasmine provides training on how to do it yourself. Right. Okay. So, but I keep saying, go to Jazz, and people are like frozen. So we feel like we're hoping, our intention is to have one up and going, and you're kind of seeing it, and you're kind of in there playing, and then like, oh, I've got questions. You're not going to ask Pete. You're going to ask Jasmine, right? And then Jasmine's she every week shows us all these new features and functions that we can do. And then like, say 6 months from now, Tracy, you're like, you know what? I want to start writing. I need to get a blog page. I need to upgrade my group funnels to get another page. Right. And then that's where Jasmine's going to come in. You're going to be like, okay, so what do I need? This is what I want to do. And then do you want to do it yourself, which is totally an option? Or at that point, you could be like, oh, I'm silver now, and I could afford to pay Jasmine to build my next 3 pages and use a specific template. You know, so you can choose to do that or not. But there are some people like Munisha, she loves building her own website, and she just gets in there and she does it herself. So God bless her.
Well, I was just writing to Pete. I'm like, okay, this is so inspiring. I need to change everything. Why didn't I meet you? Like, why didn't we do this a year ago? I mean, my website has morphed over time, and because we started all a year ago, right? Was it a year ago about or more? Yeah. With Wovote, like we started our websites like a year and a half ago. You know, when I'm still there and I need to swap over to GrooveIt, I don't enjoy it, but I do like to learn it so that I can change it. I like to learn it so I can go on and change it whenever I want. And that's really important to me.
Absolutely. And some people like the technology but don't have the time as well. So this offer will attract a lot of different
Jasmine built mine, but I can now go in and change the colors and change the fonts and change images. And now she'll ping me and go, I see you changed that photo. I'm like, I know, all by myself.
There's a couple of really good questions here. So Ria, the difference between Enroll Pro and GrooveFunnels is, let me see. So GrooveFunnels is where you build your website, your landing page, your hub, where Enroll Pro is all about your customer database. So where you hold your customer database, all your names and addresses, and you can also then market to your customer database. Enroll Pro, if you have the Premier version, it's like $20 a month, I think, US dollars. Then it has an incredible filing cabinet of resources that you can then use all the email addresses and then send out the information to the customers. So that's the main reason why I use Enroll Pro. But it also has, I think my Wi-Fi is a little bit funny. It also has a really good system for following your pipes and where you're up to with, sorry, my internet's a bit crazy. So it follows the pipes and how you're taking your customers through the pipes. So there's quite a big difference between Enroll Pro and GrooveFunnels. I hope you caught that. My Wi-Fi is a bit dodgy.
Okay, but you use it together, like in the process, like it's streamlined or something.
Yeah, absolutely. So at the moment they're not linked together, but Victoria's working on the communication between the two and trying to get them linked together. At the moment, I use both, and what I do is I capture through like an opt-in, the email address, and then I manually put it into, well, I have an Excel spreadsheet, then I upload the Excel spreadsheet of names into Enroll Pro. And so whenever I communicate with my customers, I don't communicate with my customers through GrooveFunnels, I communicate to my customers through Enroll Pro.
Okay.
So it's
I'll
actually,
explore that some more. Okay.
yeah, sure. Reach out to me if you've got a question. So because I'm using it and I can show you like the back end of it and how it works. And through this, I know we've been chatting a lot. Happy to answer some questions. Reach out to me if this tickles your fancy and you can feel that little nudge of, you know what, I think I should start. I think I should do something. If you're thinking that this is like the little intuition nudge, reach out. I want to make it simple for you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Victoria, any last things to add in? We're all okay?
I'm excited.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, everybody, thank you so much. I've loved the last 4 weeks. And I hope to hear from some people. Introduce the offer to anyone you can think of in your team who you think may benefit as well. It is for really, really limited time, like Victoria said, because I just want to concentrate during Lunar New Year. And Victoria will be watching.
We're going into Diamond Club, Pete. I've done Diamond Club.
Yeah.
You're not doing both of them at the same time. Just saying.
Yeah, exactly.
You got a window, then you got Diamond Club for 4 months, and then maybe you want to choose to pick it up again. I'm just telling you.
Sure. Thank you.
I'm telling everybody.
It's good to have a bodyguard.
Ari with her hands.
I know. I'm scared.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody.
I'll be ringing. Is it okay? Is it safe?
Right, call Victoria.
Got that mama bear thing going on. I'm sorry.
Well, it's just the realistic hat, yeah. Because I'm the type of person that will say yes, and then
You are. And if you weren't going into Diamond Club right away, I would be, if you want to do a couple of months or whatever, but you're going into Diamond Club. Just
Sure. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you.
healthy boundaries.
Wonderful. Have a great evening. Have a great day.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for watching.